In this lesson, we're going to explore moving map elements. And we're going to move the legend is the map element that we're going to move. Now this would work also for other map elements such as scale bars and arrows and text boxes and things like that. But in this case, we'll just show moving the legend. And basically you can infer that the same type of commands would be used in Python to move other elements of your map layout. So we are working in the map layout area, so we have to make sure that we have set up some of the parameters inside of ArcGIS Pro before we go into the Python script to actually move these. So we have to have at least a map that we have built. So let's switch our screens to looking at our script. So here's our script that we're going to use. And the first command we've seen throughout. So the second command is giving us a complete pathway to a project file. Notice it's a project file, but we can look at the extension of my project 28D. It's APRX, which tells us it's a project file. So we have this command ArcGIS project that we have to put in here, and we're in the mapping module since we're working with the layout. So we want to list the layout elements. So we're looking at the first layout. Remember, in ArcGIS Pro you can have multiple layouts, and we're looking at the 0th position. So the 0th position is that first layout that we would have. Once we have the layout, then we are going to look at elements within the layout. So we're going to define a variable called ELM. It's going to look at elements within the LYT, which was the layout. So we're looking at a specific layout now, and we're looking at elements within that specific layout. And the element that we're going to look at is the legend element, and it is named legend because we just used the default names when we created our project, and we're using the 0th position again. So here's where it gets interesting, and that is in the next two lines. We're changing the X position and the Y position. So if we don't understand how the map is composed, X and Y position, then we would have trouble knowing if we're changing it to our proper location. Now for this example, we're just showing that we can move the legend to a different location on the map. It doesn't necessarily represent the right location, but just showing that we can move it. We also need to know the units. So in this case, my units are inches. So we're moving this to position, not moving a distance, but we're moving to a position of 4.5, 6.0 as our X and our Y respectively. So we have to know a position that we're moving to. And then we're going to save a copy so that we don't run the original project file. We're going to save a copy. I've named it the same, except notice I put a 2 on the end. It's an APRX file, so we know it's a project file. So we have this command save a copy, and save a copy doesn't destroy the original, but instead just saves all the work that we have done up through here. And then we delete the APRX file. We could also delete the LYT file and the elements file, but just to remind us that we need to use the del command to delete variables that we're done with. So this is how we move the legend, a map element, inside of a Python script and then saving it as a new project.